Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tosh Customs, and you might have been like, wow, where was totally not my favorite creator on YouTube making his awesome content? Well, the answer for you is I was moving, and I also just didn't have anything to bring you. Because I was moving, I haven't had customs done. I have a secret project soon to be revealed, hopefully, that I've also been working on, so I can't talk about that. And so all of those things just means I don't make a YouTube video. But I got my G.I. Joe Mezco 112s Snake Eyes finally in on Thursday. And so, as always, as per tradition, we get a comments from a customizer video for you. So we'll be cracking this guy open and diving right in. So here we go. We unbox the whole thing here. I'm not gonna start anything. It's the impressions all the way through. With that, I love this art. I really love this art. I know that they've put out a couple G.I. Joe characters before, but I really only like Snake Eyes, honestly. I don't have their Storm Shadow pre-ordered, but if this gives good impressions, I'll definitely look for it. Let me change the angle of this camera just a little here. There we go. Just a little bit more. There we go. That's gonna be good. All right. So, first impressions, very nice. We like this classic Snake Eyes art here, or classic-esque Snake Eyes art. You see everything in the back here. We're going to dive into it when we crack them open. So let's do just that. It's your standard 1/12 box. Nice, hard cardboard material. Throw that to the side. Certificate of authenticity. Yay. Oh, we get some instructions. Okay, so they've been working, I think some of these accessories are going to be with fabric. So they're just showing you how to install the sword and the knife. So that's cool. All right, so let's get crack-a-lack in here. Oh, we got a bottom plate here with wolf, with the Timberwolf, and a couple accessories. So we will dive into that. Actually, we're going to dive into that right now, and we're going to leave the main contents best for last. So, in the bottom here, we have a Joe stand, classic Mezco accessory bag, and a couple other things. We have an... Ooh, that's kind of cool. So starting off, I guess we're going to start off a little bit different than we normally do. We have a smoke grenade, or just normal grenade throwing hand. I don't know why it's smoking. I guess it has to be a smoke grenade, right? There's a smoke trail coming off of it. So we have a smoke grenade throwing hand here. Nice paint and sculpt on the hands. We have a matte black finish on the hands with some glossy black armor pieces. I'm going to tilt my lights down a little bit. There we go. It's capturing it much better. Nice clear piece. Pretty rigid, so it's not going to snap. You can see there's a little bit of bend. But like any sort of pressure, and this clear piece will shear. So just be delicate when you're playing around with it. Then we have our Timberwolf here. I was actually really interested in this because we didn't get much marketing material on this guy, so I wasn't sure how good he was going to be. But he's looking pretty nice here. You can see we have Timberwolf Sculpt 1, very clean paint, very nice gradient. White dry brushing over the surface of the hair here, which is also very nice. The tail doesn't want to go up and down, but it does. Okay, so it's just on a peg because it does turn around, but you can't lift the tail up or down. So we're not going to get too much expression out of that, unfortunately. The head here, I'm trying to figure out its articulation. So this will turn side to side. I can't really get up. Oh, there we go. Okay, the joint is just stiff, yeah. We get some up here, we get some down. Ah, there we go, head pops out. It's on a double ball. I don't know what the point of this is. I can't really get this to move anything but side to side. You can see we're on ball joints here, so we can move in and out, forward and back. And then we also have multiple hinge joints for his little feet. And then the paws themselves, I think, yeah, they're just on pegs, I think. It seems like the foot plugs into this joint, and maybe it's double plugged in. It's hard to tell, but it only swivels side to side at the very base. So that's your feet right there. pretty cool, pretty cool. I dig it. I think I think overall they did a good job. This, it's hard to, oh, look at this. You can see that the plastic there isn't really holding tight around the joint. It's just sort of warped outwards. It makes it wiggle a little bit, but it's not too bad. I can't get much pivot out of these joints, unfortunately. So it's all right. Overall, it's pretty good. I think this is Mezco's, I might be wrong, but I think this is Mezco's like first real go at an animal. You can see, once again, a lot of these joints are just sort of pushing out. Like the material doesn't seem to be keeping its mold too well, which is kind of odd. But overall, it's all right. Anyways, standard wolf head. We have 2 more sculpts to look at. We have snarling sculpt here. Let's get this out. This is nice. I will say these sculpts are really, really good. Snarling sculpt right there. They have a nice gloss over the eyes too, which is really cool. Great detail on the teeth. I mean, all this kind of stuff is hand painted. There's a little bit of red that got splotched up there, but nothing too bad. Really, really nice. There's almost like a brown wash over the teeth to make it look yellow and dirty. Pretty cool. And then lastly, we have a barking, biting, real angry type mouth. So there we go. Pretty cool. I'm not sure. These teeth just feel a little too big. Yeah, something about it. I don't know. Like, it's these front teeth right here. You can see that this sculpt, they look good. They're not. These teeth are way longer. These front teeth, not the fangs, but like the actual front teeth, in comparison, are way longer. And it's throwing off the expression just a little bit. And they're thinner too. The ones on this head are much more chunky than this one. Kind of interesting. Yeah, but it's also odd. You can see side teeth on here, and they don't appear to be here on this one. Really, really interesting. Also, all of this should be pink all the way up. I don't know why it goes pink to black. And then the tongue is in a funky little purple. Interesting. This one's odd. This head sculpt's a little odd. I think the expression, he's got like these weird angry eyebrows, and it's almost like the eyes are a little bit closer in compared to this one. Some of the anatomy of this head doesn't quite make sense. But I mean, if you're just going for like a biting pose, you know, he's just like latched onto something, that's good enough. But yeah, a little bit strange on that last sculpt. I don't prefer it. I like this snarling one though. I think that looks really, really good. And we'll do a size comparison because he is supposed to be a Timberwolf, so this guy should be pretty big. He should be like the equivalent of 4 feet tall. So we'll see how he scales up against Snake Eyes and some other figures in a little bit. All right, so taking this tray, putting it to the side. Let's get to the main event now, which is our 1/12 Snake Eyes. I'm really excited. This guy comes with a ton of accessories. I've criticized Mezco before for over-accessorizing, so we'll see if all of it is quite necessary. But either way, I love Snake Eyes. I love the character. I like ninjas in general. So ninjas, shinobi, samurai, all that kind of stuff. So here we go. Really quick. This is a great design for a package. I love this star coming out from the bottom. We have 4 cases holding all the accessories. Like, there is a level of design that goes into placing all the products, and this looks really clean. Like, aesthetically, this is very pleasing. So I just thought that was cool. Enough glazing. Let's get into it. We have the main figure right here. There's plastic in the base of his neck. That's so odd. That's a very odd placement. Usually they put plastic like under the neck sculpt or something, but this time they've wrapped it around the base of the neck. I don't quite know why. I guess it's for this material. So maybe that might, like, inherently when companies do that, that means, hey, there's a chance that it gets stuck or it could get damaged. So be warned. So maybe watch out for this rubber vinyl material in the future. Who knows if it's going to go bad or if it's going to get weird. Right off the bat here, a lot of stuff isn't lined up. So if you look, the suit here is leaning. The whole thing is like leaning. Maybe that's just the way it's packaged. Let's see if I can straighten it out. The pants are also like off-centered here. Maybe it's just the whole outfit is just slightly off-centered. Let me finagle this a little bit here. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take off the belt here, and then we can see what's what. Okay, yeah, that's a little better. It's leaning a little bit less. Okay, we just have to straighten some stuff out. All right, let's plug the belt back in and proceed. I think he looks good. All things considered, I think he looks good. Just kind of straighten everything out, put everything back to normal. This does not look too shabby. First impressions are pretty positive, all things considered. I'm very interested to see what body this is because he feels a little chunky. His proportions are a bit strange. His hands look okay. His chest and this suit, they're very, very thick. He doesn't look like thin ninja. These proportions here, he's very block-like. He doesn't show his musculature very well. And then you get to how long the arms are to the legs. The legs are very long. You know, the good proportion is a 2-to-1 for legs to torso. So we follow that 2-to-1, but your legs or your arms need to be also sort of follow a 2-to-1. So his arms should really be just a little bit longer here. And if you look at it, it's actually kind of interesting because his hand barely reaches his gun. Like it reaches it full extended. But yeah, these arms should just be a little bit longer because he should be able, like, he will not comfortably be able to grab, like, maybe he can grab the pistol, but you can see he barely gets there. And am I crazy or is the left arm shorter? Yeah, no, look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. The left arm's shorter. Is he not? Let me make sure my body's like centered up. Okay, well, we do it by the shoulders, right? Yeah, my left arm. How is my left arm that much shorter? Bro, what in the world? Is his elbow bent? What's going on? Yeah, I mean, you can just, as I push it to the sides, you can see that the top of this glove starts higher than the top of this glove. Just like, actually. By like 2-3 millimeters. Let's push these arms out like this. Yeah, look at that. You can, making sure it's not an optical illusion. It's a little bit more even here, but it's really hard to tell. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but it almost feels like maybe it's the way the head is leaning. Okay. It's not too bad, and it's very hard to tell if it's an optical illusion or not. I push the arms forward, and they still look long. Like, yeah, it's just by like 2 millimeters. There's just, like, the end of his fist right here looks like it's about hitting his thumb. Like, you know, I don't have a flat plane, but just something a little odd there. I don't know. Sorry for bringing you guys along for me to figure that out. Another fun, interesting thing here is these grenades are fixed to his, yeah, they're a fixed part of the whole strap setup, which I think is kind of interesting. I like that, though. It's better for display, but it also begs the question of how they stick there, right? Because it's not like they're on the clip now, they're just frozen there. But it matches some Snake Eyes art, so I think it gets a pass. Coming down to the holsters here, really nice detail. This holster is done in a nice glossy finish. You can see that. We have all these semi-gloss straps looping around. Maybe, does this pop out? It should pop out, right? Yeah, this is on a tab here. Nice detailing. Like, look, they hit them all with these little gunmetal dots. There's plenty of this, like, glossy black with, like, black gray, matte black. Really, really nice use of shades. I've talked about that before, which is how you utilize, like, when you have, like, a very monochromatic character, how you use your different shades and different materials to... The belt popped out again. Different shades and different materials to help express detail. And they've done a really, really good job with that. Very, very nice. It's also very nicely sculpted in general. I really like these. I really like these boots. They've done a... It's a really nice design to express like fast and flexible, but also armored. Everything just feels very streamlined. It doesn't look heavy, even though having like metal or ceramic plates, you know, more or less just like strapped and tied to the outside of your boots would be a little bit cumbersome, but they look nice because they're so form-fitting. So very cool. I like this too because I like the way they did the arm braces here, because talking about functionality, I like that there's a small plate on the inside just in case someone swings to cut off his arm, like this would catch it. And then likewise, if someone's swinging down, it catches the outside edge of this plate or this plate, so a vertical slice here wouldn't work. And then he's got a much wider area here for vertical slices as well as like stabs and cuts, because when you're sword fighting, you would block with your arm and you would block with the outside edge of your arm. And so it makes sense that the most coverage is on the back of the forearm. So some nice functional detail there, and I really, really respect that. Once again, we've taken a look at the hands. He's got little armor plates on his knuckles above his thumb and on the top plate of the hand there. Looks very nice. All right, so that's a base overview of the figure. Well printed symbol right there. The stitching and everything, unlike the Justice League pack, it looks very good. This strap keeps wanting to fall down. It doesn't quite like to sit up on the leg. So just be wary of that as well. Overall, good first impressions. I'm still confused about how this guy aligns, and his hands are definitely still too small. That I stand by. His hands, like when we zoom out here, he's got like little baby hands. I think it's a product of his torso looking so thick. This material here and the body underneath is very big. I think they could have slimmed this body down and tightened this up just a little bit, and then I think these arms and hands would look fine. But for how thick the torso looks, the arms just don't match that musculature very well. But that's just my assessment of it. I don't think he looks half bad at all. I think the other thing I would like to see coming up to the head here is, in all this like hard surfacing, we have, we're using this gloss black to denote like a hard surface area, and they do a really good job of dispersing that all over the suit. And then you come to the head here, and I particularly just want to talk about this outer jaw piece. First of all, all these, like this up here, very clearly stitching just by the way they've sculpted in some wrinkles here. But you can see we have some hard parts of the mask, like this little edge here, as well as this whole jaw plate here. And it's all just cast in the same matte black plastic. I would have liked to see some of that high gloss black so that it would be consistent throughout the dispersal of the rest of the costume, because you can see all our hardware is done in gloss black, and then all our bolts are done in gunmetal. So it would only make sense that we would see some gloss black right there. Also, the neck piece here doesn't quite match the aesthetic we're getting from everything else. This is a very like bio-organic, like techno-organic type design. This is not something you would stitch, because that wouldn't make sense. This gives a lot more of a vibe of a sort of like flexible composite. It gives very bio-organic, or not bio-organic, biomechanical. It gives like a very biomechanical look. which is something that just doesn't make sense for the rest of the suit. The rest of the suit feels like very grounded. So it would have made sense to have more of like the stitching type look that we're seeing at the top of his head there. That design element should have flowed down. And then if you wanted to, maybe just put like a little base of a head thing so that this lines up. So that the base of the head lines up with this. But all of this looks like it should be a hard material on the neck. So it just doesn't line up with everything we're seeing on the rest of the body. Just some basic design notes. I'm being maybe a little too anal about it, but it's okay. Moving on. Let's get to the accessories now. We get a full array of hands. That's all we need to know. We have trigger hands, we have sword hands, we have open hands, we have a bunch of different hands. I don't think we need to go through all of them, but we'll take a preview look anyways, just so that we don't gloss over anything important here. I'm afraid of every time you crack open these tins, the hands just fly everywhere. Sorry, I'm kind of below camera right now because I'm trying to open this nice and clean. There we go. Alrighty. So taking a look up here, we have two knife holding hands here. They're very clearly modeled to hold some of his shuriken. We'll see later. We have some very relaxed hands, actually incredibly relaxed hands. Look at that. That's looking very nice here. I am going to put some of these other hands on just to see if they also still look like baby hands or not. Very, very small grasping hand here. Hard to say what this is going to be for. My guess is going to be a sword. We'll have to find out. Then, putting that away, we move to the next pair, which definitely looks like a martial art punching hand. You can see he's sort of like grouping his two front fingers together, almost like a throat punch, something like that. Pretty cool. I guess you could also use this to like hold a grenade, maybe. Hard to say. Moving down, we have, looks like trigger fingers. Yeah, trigger finger hands, pretty standard. Oh, our only set of asymmetrical hands here. We get a karate chopping hand, which is being very difficult to get out of the plastic right now. There we go. We got a karate chopping hand here. Very cool. Allows you to really see those finger details too. Super, super nice. Good sculpt. A little bit of overspray of like a silver in the hand there, but that's fine. And then we get a palm punch hand. So you just hit someone in the bottom of the chin with that. Knocks them out. Gives them a small concussion. Something like that. Pretty cool. And then lastly, we get these wide open splayed hands. He can do a superhero landing. You can use this to be like if you're in stop motion or in like figure photography, the end of a grenade throw, something like that. Pretty cool. So that's the hands out of the way. Moving on to our next little plastic tin here. Actually, since we're in hands, and look at this one, we get another very expressive animated hand here, which is him throwing 3 shuriken. Very cool. Very, very nice look. I dig it a lot. There's something in the molding there. Yeah, there's a little, yeah, I have like some kind of paint or a crack. No, it's a scratch. I have a scratch running through mine. That's unfortunate. It's not a big deal, but you can see it. 3 nice shuriken, all very nicely painted, all things considered. A little bit of overspray on each of these with some speckling over the silver, and this paint doesn't line up properly around the edges of the blades. But it's all right. It's supposed to be thrown. It's supposed to be in motion. You really won't be looking at the paint too much. From most angles, it looks fine. Very nice. Detail on the fingers is continued pretty well across. So overall, nice job, Mezco. Jumping to our next tin, we have his pistol and his SMG. Really excited to take a look at these two. So we get some sort of Uzi right here, looking really nice. I did not know about that. That's cool. Extendable stock. Props to Mezco for the engineering there. I like that. This harkens back to the moving slides. Some guns in that Mezco has them, some of them don't. But I like that we're seeing some extra engineering out of them there. I appreciate the hard work there. You can see a couple of paint details here. The grip and the stock are done in almost like a higher gloss black. We have some silver detailing here. Semi-gloss for this little handguard. It's not quite at a high gloss. And then looks like a little strap plug at the top there. Because all these iron sights don't really line up. I don't know what this is for. Kind of odd the way they have this sight picture set up. All three of them are at different heights. Oh well, it's okay. Removable mag, I assume. Yep, removable mag. Bullet detailing in there. Very nice. We appreciate those little bits of effort. He has a spare mag for the SMG as well. We're going to take a look at the pistol next, and I'm going to have to see if I can pry it out here. Here we go. Pried the pistol out with the SMG. Pistol now. Same thing, or same application of detail. Silver in the barrel, silver on the hammer, continued detail, silver on the barrel right there. Some like semi-gloss black on the grip, looking very good. The handle looks just, the grip looks really big compared to the rest of the body of the pistol. It's not like extremely offensive, but the pistol, like the barrel and all the upper, has like a very small body compared to how fat this grip is. The grip in like all proportions is just like wide and thick, but that's probably just more fitting the way they molded the hands. Odd, but it's fine. Let's see. Does the slide? Slide seems to be, I can't tell. It looks like it's a separate piece because you can see some space there in the barrel, but it does. Oh, there we go. It's just very tight. Cool. Yes, you can slide the barrel, or the slide does go back to make it look like it's firing. I always appreciate that detail. I like it a lot. So there we go. It's very tight though, so be careful. Your gun might get stuck. And then removable mag with bullet detailing. Sweet. I like this. I like how they did the mag here so that it fits into the grip, because that makes it look like an extended barrel, or extended mag, which is cool. Usually when there's extended mag and you're adding like an extra, maybe 2 to 5 rounds, they do this so that it matches the grip and it extends your grip down farther. It would have been cool if they somehow made it look like double stacked rounds, but it's cool. Still very nice. All right, putting that away. He also comes with 2 knives in this little box here. I'm gonna pop one of these out. Very nice, very big. I'm not gonna make him hold it right now. Very chunky knives. These are huge. I guess the only way they're not super heavy is got a lot of hollow space in there. I like that he has a knuckle guard right there, like a hand guard. That's pretty cool. He can punch people. He can cut. The only thing is probably flipping that around in your hand is a pain, and you're not going to be able to. So you have to choose which orientation you want to start the fight with, because I can't imagine flipping that in your hand is going to be very conducive with the handguard there. Either way, beautifully painted, really clean silver. A little bit of overspray on the grip right there, you can see, but nothing too offensive. So there we go. Alrighty. Next tray, we have the swords, and knives. We get 2 swords, 2 knives. Looks like a suppressor and a muzzle flash effect. I'm excited for this because we can also dive into how to install these and where to install these. I'm going to dump the contents out on the ground because there's so many of them, and we're going to get into them. Starting with the suppressor. Very, very small suppressor. Looks good. I'm going to grab the pistol out again. I assume we can put this on the pistol or the SMG. So let's see, SMG first. This slides in very nicely. Really, really smooth. That's great. A little bit too small of a can for an actual SMG. Like, This is too small and too thin to actually capture anything, I think. It's useless. It's more of just like a barrel extender at that point, so maybe you'll get a little extra velocity out of your round. They actually detailed the suppressor, which is cool. You can see there's actually some like panel lining here and a little bit of like semi-gloss black, so that's nice that there's some detail in the suppressor and they didn't just mold a tube. So props for that. That's very cool. Taking a look at the pistol, maybe this will fit more on the pistol. Proportionally, it does fit a little bit better on the pistol. Still feels like too thin of a suppressor, too small of a suppressor, but it looks much better here. And I think that does help with the whole barrel length. Doesn't really match the depth of the pistol grip. That looks pretty good. We have a muzzle flash effect here. We have the muzzle flash with a little bullet detail at the end, and we are able to plug that in. Ooh, very tight fit on the suppressor, be careful. You can fit that in there. That looks great. Yeah, be very careful pulling these out. There's a bit of tension on them. And then we can also take it and put it into the pistol itself. And vice versa, works the same thing on the SMG. So there we go. That is the little extra gun accessories out of the way there. Let me put everything back in their respective tins. All right. Moving on to the knife now. We have a knife sheath here. Knife sheath with the back peg, and then some nice detailing up here. Once again, good high gloss black detailing. And honestly, that might be the most impressive thing here, is I haven't seen any high gloss black so far with overspray. Gloss black is a very easy thing to see when it oversprays because it clearly will like layer over other things, but you can see all the lines here very clean, especially this like thin line that runs all the way down. That's very precise paint application. Props to Mezco for that. I mean, you know, credit where credit is due. I'm going to criticize where criticism is due. That's super nice. We have this nice dagger here. Looks like a good size. It fits in. It's hard to tell if there's supposed to be an orientation for this. Fits in nicely there. Is it reversible? Yeah, they designed it to be reversible, so that's cool. I guess you can pick the orientation of which way your dagger leans. Nice paint on the grip there. Nice paint on the gloss black at the very end of the grip. And this plugs into his the port at the back of the belt. So we'll just pop that in there. Pops in very nicely. And yeah, we can rotate the orientation. And so therefore they made the they didn't orient, even though the knife has a forward and a backwards, they didn't orient the sheath to do that, which allows you as the owner to have a little bit of flexibility with which side he's going to pull that knife out of. Really, really cool. Moving on to the sword now, we have two swords and two sheaths. So we have our first sword. This is more of the classic Snake Eyes sword that you'd expect. Really nice detailing in that like ornate grip there. You can see the also ornate handguard. And then we come up to the blade here, nice serrations. It indents in and then it comes out, curves up. Very pretty, very slick, very thin, looking good. And I believe this is the corresponding sheath for that. It slides in well. Props to, it gets a little bit tight when the base of the hilt there plugs in, but that's supposed to be so that it won't slide and fall out. It looks really nice. Great detailing here with these openings along the sheath. Very pretty, very, very cool. The only thing is that it does get tight when you lock that sword in, and over time I wonder if that, you know, locking mechanism, because it's very high pressure. Yeah, you can see it already. There's a small scratch at the base of the sword there. So you probably will wear the paint if you choose to plug your sword in all the way, so probably just leave it up and out a little bit so that you just barely get the tension in there. Then it won't fall, but it's fine. So there we go. Next sword here. This is a little bit of a shorter sword. Not quite like a Tanto, but fits in there very nicely. Grip, once again, has a very similar paint application. We have a little bit of gloss black at the base, little gloss black at the top of the hilt there. Once again, beautifully painted silver. I like the extra little detail of some of this panel lining around the base of the sword. Very cool. Another hollow section here in the grip. That's an interesting choice, but it looks great nonetheless. Really beautiful sculpted details. The sheath also likewise, really, really nice. I like this whole, I like this sort of pattern that they have on the exterior of the sheath there. Looks really good. Very fun, aesthetically pleasing sword sheaths for sure. They didn't miss out on flexing on this. I'm not sure. The instructions specifically note that this sheath is the one that we're supposed to clip in, and I think we just sort of clip it in the narrow parts. It's hard to say. It's hard to say how all this is supposed to go together. Oh, you can also fully take off this strap. There's the peg for that as well. Okay, I'm going to take the dagger out for now because I'm going to futz around with this for a little bit. I'm actually going to take the strap off as well while we do this. Let's remove all of this stuff here and figure out how to put the sheath in. Like, Blade used to have a sheath and it would slide very easily, but this plastic doesn't seem to want to slide. It also looks like it's a little bit warped inwards, so we're going to try to flex this out, straighten it, and then it's hard to tell if it's supposed to go over the thick or the thin sections of the sheath here. Okay, either way, it's going to be a pain. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't like tab in or fit super well. You can see that there's some dead area in there, so it's not quite like fitted, but that'll work. I'm going to put it on the second one. I think that makes the most sense. Slide it right in there. That's good enough. We can take it. Let's put it back. Let's reinstall everything and see how it looks. And then this here comes around and then plugs in right under this arm. There we go. Plugged in nicely. Everything on this guy likes to untab for some reason. I don't know why. The tabs don't seem to have as much grip as they usually do. All right, there we go. And then let's slide this sword in right there. Let's pop the head back on and see how it looks. That looks good. That's nice. It's a bit too low on the shoulder, I think. But he can reach back and grab it, so that's good. I think it would have made sense if it was angled more like right where my finger is, but that is a more than fine orientation. It keeps on tapping out. There we go. All right, so it's good. It's good enough. I wouldn't say it's great, but it looks good. Yeah, it just feels low. You can see it's just coming at an off angle, but it's fine. I think it would have been much nicer if it's sort of aligned more with this top strap here, or just, or somewhere in between. It just needs to be like, maybe like 15 degrees angled up. It's all right. It's cool. With that, let's try to pop this out. Let's see if we can slide the other sheath in. Yeah, I think you can. This one actually slides a lot better. We can jump it up one more tier here. And once again, you see everything likes to pop out. I start futzing with it. This tab pops out on the strap. The belt tab pops out. Man, this is a nightmare. It's a whole piece of work to install something. The tolerances on this are not as nice as I'd like them. But there we go. Other sword is in. Yeah, I mean, you deal with the same thing. It's a weird angle, but yeah, you can put either sword on his back. I just wanted to check on that. So that is that case right there. And then moving on to the last one, we have all his extra throwables. So we get a bunch of grenades, a bunch of shuriken, a bunch of throwing knives. Look at that, 2 different types of shuriken, 6 throwing knives, and then we also, I think it's one of those, like, either nunchucks or 3-stage baton type things. Let's see. We get a... I'm going to use this little muzzle effect here. We get this 3-stage... I forget, there's a technical term for this, and I just forget the name of this weapon. But yeah, he gets one of these 3-stage baton things. Very, very useful. Very cool. They used metal rings for this, which I like to see. That's also very nice. Well detailed. It's painted in this almost like gunmetal silver with these brighter silver detailing around the little base of at the little bases where everything interlocks. So very nice. Great detail there. And once again, let's see if we can fold it up and put it away. Very cool. I like that. Coming to his nades here. Looks like 6 types of the same nade. Apparently these are smoke grenades, these are not, so this is not commando snake eyes. They are the same size. Great job. Perfect. Same size as the other ones. Unfortunately, we have the pin and then like the little lever, or I guess this is the pin. We have the ring and the pin. The pin here, unfortunately, isn't hollow and sort of like separate like some of the other nades, so you aren't going to be able to take these 6 and loop them anywhere else on his outfit, unfortunately. So these are just for throwing and posing, which is too bad. We have the first type of shuriken. Very nice 4-pronged blades. Good paint applications all around. Some of it's a little uneven, but once again, nothing too offensive. Looks like a really cool mold. I like these extra sort of curves and serrations and stuff. It makes them look extra mean. I don't think functionally they would do anything. Then we get a 6-bladed throwing star, and these are supposed to match the star throwing hand as well. Once again, same model, same size. Great paint application on these. Once again, looking very, very nice. I like these more. These look good. And then lastly, we have a bunch of throwing knives. Once again, no place to store these, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to see, some kind of, like if one of these was like a sheet, like he could hold 3 knives. Just some integration of some of these parts. Mezco recently has been over-accessorizing their figures. Like Two-Face, for instance, just came with a bunch of like, what was it, gold coins or something. They have a tendency to do that kind of stuff. And I think it's because in general their production is taking a price hike, and they're trying to find the cheapest way to incentivize the whole package here. And so they, one of these nades, the plastic on it at a factory probably costs like 0.2 cents or something. Like this is such a small piece that requires so little labor. Oh, look at that. You can see some paint coming off that one. So some minor QC. But once again, a lot of this stuff is filler, and I think they're using it as an excuse for the price hike. It allows them to say, instead of $90, we can charge $112 for this guy. We're not really including anything more. The only thing that I would say is more is Timberwolf, which I think is a great addition, and I appreciate that they did that. But from an overall perspective, they are not doing anything that's too revolutionary in the space in terms of what you're getting in the package, and so it's not. So I think there's a lot of justification of price hikes in filler. And if I'm wrong on that, but that's my interpretation of it, because I don't know why your price is raising by like, $20 to $30 on a lot of releases, except for the fact that the production, the license is expensive, the production has gotten more expensive, with the economy and everything. And so therefore we're going to slap in some filler in there in order to say you're getting like more in the contents of your box. But I could be wrong. I don't know much about factory work. That is just my impression from the way things have been going. But I think, maybe maintaining a license is expensive too. Buying a new license and maintaining a license is also probably part of the cost. Mezco's standard figures from their own property have stayed at about the $90 price range, while a lot of their other figures have hiked up in price. So could be that as well. Now for some size comparisons here. I'm at like a top-down angle. It makes it easier for me to film. but we can see that, you know, generally them standing next to each other. If Snake Eyes is, you know, let's just say he's, I don't know, 5'8", who knows? Let's say if he's 6 foot. Timberwolf, that scales Timberwolf at about like 3 feet tall. A real wolf stands about 4 feet tall, so I think the wolf like should be scaled up a little bit more, so it stands right about at his waist. But still a really good size. He looks much more like a big dog versus like a huge wolf, but still nice nonetheless. Yeah, just scale is a tiny bit small for I think what a Timberwolf realistically should be, but still good. We're gonna run some other comparisons now. So we have Snake Eyes standing up next to Custom Joe of mine. This was supposed to be Commander Hawk, and then I just upgraded him with a bunch of stuff. But stands a bit taller, just a tiny bit taller than your Joes. Looks good. We have Batman here, and Batman is going to stand a little bit taller, actually. Let's see here. Batman with the ears is taller, but Snake Eyes at the shoulder is a bit taller. So Snake Eyes has a pretty nice body. Honestly, because this guy wasn't an exclusive, I know his price is higher, but you could probably customize this whole gear set into something pretty nice. So throwing that out there. Also, the pants, speaking of that, the pants are all fabric, and the shirt is really the only thing that has like a semi-elastic. So you really don't have to, you know, unlike some of these more like rubberized suits, you're really not going to have to worry about too much like stretching and bunching over time. So I think you could probably put this guy in a very dynamic pose and leave him there for long term, which is pretty cool. So that is one of the big ups of this guy. Moving on here. Here is my Scorpion Sting custom figure that I made a little while back. This is on the Black Skull body. So just to see how those guys stand up to each other. At the boot, Snake Eyes looks to be just about the same height to the shoulder. And then, you know, obviously there's differences we're going to find in the head. But to the shoulder, they look to be about the same height, roughly speaking. So pretty nice there too. I think this is a nice combo to put them together. I think that looks pretty cool, actually. And last but not least, we're going to crack out Carnage just for the fun of it. Get Carnage back on video again. Carnage dwarfs this guy. Holy cow, look at that scaling. And this is Carnage a little bit bent over. So, you know, maybe Cobra has a new bioweapon that turns out to be a symbiote, and we get some crossover time. Snake Eyes can chuck some smoke grenades at him, run away. Who knows? I don't think Snake Eyes stands a chance, low-key. But either way, very, very cool size comparison. And I think this looks good. I think this scales nicely. I actually think, you know, SHF did a good job with sizing their symbiotes to how they would scale against other 1/12 lines. You know, I know that SHF usually just sits a little bit smaller, but I think that scales quite nicely. So I was hoping this was going to be a shorter video, but instead it looks like we filmed just for about 50 minutes. So sorry for a long breakdown. This guy had a lot of accessories, a lot to look into. But I appreciate you all for staying. I know that most of you guys don't stay for all 50 minutes, but I appreciate your support nonetheless. I will be giving away one of these Snake Eyes. So please go look at the Tosh Collects Patreon. When we reach 25 members, just sign up for the lowest tier. I think it's like $5 for every time we do a giveaway for one of these figures. So it's very cheap, but you'll only get charged for each giveaway, or once a month for all the giveaways that happen during that month, my bad. And then if you want to pay for a higher tier, you'll get access to STLs and like some 3D modeling resources and stuff like that. So please go check that out if you're interested at all. I think the last video or 2 videos ago, I posted an intro to that. And otherwise, I appreciate all your guys' support. Thank you for your patience with me as I've been moving and content's been slow. But we're back, baby. So thank you all again for watching, and I will catch you next time, hopefully with a reveal of my projects. So take care.